he who seeks the light needs the eyes of the mind, since in himself he carries the darkness. Plotinus. It seems to me that this is the original source around which the cultural path of the artist Raffaella Corcione Sandoval rises and unfolds. A thematic scenario whose firmly philosophical background has Hegelian thought as its closest horizon. And yet this horizon penetrates, excavates, finds its roots in the Corpus Hermeticum, a collection of writings on a philosophical, religious topic that circulated in the Greco-Roman world in the 1st centuries AD, and that referred to a cosmogony centered on the creation of man and on the conditions of his spiritual liberation. They were attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary character of the pre-classical age, revered as a master of wisdom and traditionally believed to be the author of the corpus himself. Therefore, the Hegelian principle, the truth is the whole, only intertwines the artistic and cultural paths of Raffaella Corcione Sandoval in a veiled and reflexive way, since it specifically refers to another authoritative figure of philosophical thought of the 3rd century AD, Plotinus, who was the first to develop the idea that the image created by the artist is never a simple reproduction of the physical world. Rather, it is an opening to the original model of the nous, a vibration of wave particles, we would say today, of the form of the divine intellect in which the artist participates intuitively through the daimon, godly, present in him, and by virtue of a revelation received as a gift. Indeed, it is within this dense, enigmatic, post-classical philosophical frame of the imperial period that Raffaella Corcione Sandoval's artistic and cultural itinerary is inserted, whose invisible thread of eclectic matrix unites the flow of her strong philosophical feeling to the corpus hermeticum and the thought of Plotinus. While passing through the inextricable magma of Hegelian idealism, Raffaella Corcione Sandoval does not accept the all-embracing systematic horizon of the true is the whole, but more specifically, she shares the metaphysical horizon of the Plotinian one as incessant energy, a living unity that embraces in itself every possible power, that overflows and inexhaustibly enriches itself with its own manifestation and expression, an unapproachable flow that never rests in itself but eternally manifests itself and appears. The tremor of the Plotinian one and of the corpus hermeticum vibrates among the most secret and arcane abysses of the artist Raffaella, digs into the deep, dizzying mazes of her soul, crosses the most ancestral mythological labyrinths to elaborate them and express them, and finally contextualize them within her constant, uninterrupted artistic activity. This is in accordance with the new cultural frontiers of research, in tune with the most recent achievements of scientific experimentation, and finally in the light of the new principle of wave-particle quantum mechanics. It is on this huge introspective frame of studies, experiments, and cultural contaminations that the artist grafted her personal worldview, according to which life is a journey where the goal is truth, but the main road is beauty. Hence the refined production of canvases, sculptures, designs vibrant with vitality, unbridled energy, unsustainable light. Hence that aesthetic fervor, which like Plotinus's one, overflows in Raffaella Corcione Sandoval into the boundless branches of her vast productive activity as a writer, painter, sculptor, who has achieved international goals and dimensions. Among the main exhibitions and art reviews, the most important exhibition of 2017 is worth mentioning: Spoleto Art Meets New York, Hotel Michelangelo, New York. Participation in the Biennale delle Nazioni, Venice Art Expo 2018. The exhibition Emotions on Display, Armenia Meets the World, International Collective 2019, organized by the Ministry of Culture of the Italian government with the Armenian Embassy, by Giacomo Carlo Tropeano in the museum space of Castel dell'Ovo in Naples. The Italian Masters of Color itinerant exhibition Matera, Taranto, Rocca Imperiale, Dubai, Rome 2019. Ancient Pompeii Golden Faun International Grand Prize, Palazzo Maffei Marescotti, Vatican, Rome, Accademia dei Dioscuri 2019. Dubai International Prize, itinerant exhibition, Dubai, Taranto, Matera, Rocca Imperiale, Rome 2019. In her creative and most recent book entitled Ella and the Tree of Mira, Raffaella Corcione Sandoval has culturally and artistically lavished her own commitment and part of her artistic activity to testify that there is a substantial harmony between the infinitely small and the infinitely large, between spirit and matter, protons, neutrons, electrons, quarks, stars, galaxies, constellations on the one hand, and the inexpressible lightness of being on the other, as a demonstration of the most recent discoveries of contemporary physics that the author welcomes and makes her own, transferring principles and theoretical postulates of quantum mechanics in her paintings, sculptures, books, through the study and the path of another way, the way of the heart, addressed to spiritual knowledge and self-realization. Truly original passion and enthusiasm that evoke deep fascination with mystical philosophies, Eastern wisdom, the Corpus Hermeticum, and the disconcerting intuition of the One of Plotinus. Present this year at the Pro Biennale di Venezia 2021 with 11 very important works, some of which develop the theme of infinitely small, infinitely large, Raffaella Corcione Sandoval has always dealt with the cosmic stellar origins of humanity and the global and structural interconnection between the various elements of the universe, as in the words of Hermes Trismegistus, evoked in the Corpus, as above, so below, thus reproposing the Heraclitean principle of the universe, all things are one, to underline the inseparable relationship of human nature with the roots of our stellar origins. And it is precisely from this specific dimension of the invisible splendor of the One that the artist moves in search of a deeper reality, where the eternal becoming of opposites, of contraries, is recomposed and pacified in a superior harmony which explains the unity of the universe, of reality that Heraclitus calls Logos, God. God is day, night, winter, summer, war, peace, satiety, hunger. Of reality that is unity of the different, and at the same time diversity of the one. Of reality in which the universe is only the most advanced point of a superior cosmic intelligence, and man is the evolution of a flow of stellar matter. We are but the incarnation and the final project of a universe grown up to self-consciousness, of which man is the spearhead. After 13 billion years, we have begun to understand our origin. We are stellar matter meditating on the stars. And so, through the changing abysses of the human soul, where the memory of the beginning rises and stirs, Raffaella Corcione Sandoval retraces mythological temple roots of the most ancient civilizations and populations. From the Babylonians to the Phoenicians, to the Sumerians, to the Egyptians. She studies the sacred texts of the various religions, the wonderful world of colors, symbols, myths, legends, narratives that have immortalized them. She depicts their gods, Isis, Ninurta, Harmonia, Astarte, Nisaba, and with her many creative expressions, from painting to sculpture to the novel, brings them to light to transfer them through her art to us. It is therefore through the paths of the mystical and the mythological roots of ancient civilizations that Raffaella Corcione Sandoval mysteriously enters into our inner sphere, stimulates creativity, and increases the capacity of understanding for those who are in tune with her artistic production. She explores and reaches finally a mystical as well as ascetic vision of life that allows her to communicate with her own spiritual self and to conceive art not only as a great educational and evolutionary model, but also as a vehicle of beauty, of liberation, of the awakening of human consciousness. In fact, what is beauty for the artist, if not the visible representation of a feeling, of a vibration that has within itself the mantra of revealed truth? The work of the artist, according to Raffaella Corcione Sandoval, must not be that of pursuing solutions, but of remaining within the infinite opening of the ring in order to uninterruptedly deepen its mystery. Because the artist is only the one who knows how to create enigmas, to permeate mysteries, and certainly not the one who proposes to give concise solutions. In all the artistic production that accompanies the numerous and articulated paths of Raffaella Corcione Sandoval, What strikes us most is precisely the halo of mystery, the transit of life that flees and abandons us like water between the fingers. So all that remains is to set out towards a beyond, far from the closed spaces of rationality and concept, to place oneself like the artist on the track of the one, of that invisible perfection which, even in the incompleteness of daily life, beats within us, is emotion and at the same time the vertigo of a single thought, whose horizon of life one day will stop in the sky of the world like a star. Raffaella Corcione Sandoval tells us all this along the unstoppable path that leads to her art. Undoubtedly, one thing is certain. As an artist, she has understood that a work of art, a painting, a sculpture, an engraving, or a tapestry, in order to become immortal, must go beyond the limits of the human, without worrying about common sense or the logic that the spectator would like to introduce at all costs. And so it is in the singular game of the instant, which rises and sinks, gushes out and is consumed among the abysses of the soul, as it is with the fate of contraries, of darkness, light, concord, discord, truth, deception, hate, love, chaos, cosmos, that it rediscovers the sealed and undivided time of the unity of the different, of the diversity of the one, that it regains the momentum that resumes the roots of Sirius, Vega, Alpha Centauri, to plow through the spaces and time of the infinitely small, of the infinitely large, of time that destroys and that preserves.